Well, today we are going to actually be going ahead of time. We're looking at a day that's coming up because this is our creative day. We can't really do it on Monday. So we're like, you know what, let's spotlight this before the day actually happens on the 27th of October, the World Day of Audiovisual Heritage, which is a global day that is significant, really an initiative by UNESCO and also the Coordinating Council of Audiovisual Archives Associations. We're in South Africa at the SABC, and we're always in step with what's happening in the international space. And there's an initiative that the South African Broadcasting Corporation Archives, which will be hosting a special awareness event and display on Monday to speak a little bit about the importance of audio visuals and what they mean. How do you actually maintain this moment? I'm speaking right now, right? And you think this moment is just a moment that escapes and disappears, right? What I'm going to say next is just going to be something that's going to be in the air and it's no longer going to be there anyway. No, but there actually are fantastic experts who make sure that there's a preservation of information, there's a preservation of films, there's a preservation of recordings and broadcasts. Today, to speak about this SABC initiative, we are joined by our guests who are going to tell us a little bit more. So I've got my colleagues here actually. We've got Tumelo Mahlaka, who's an English archivist for Metro FM, Radio 2000, 5FM and SAFM. And also we've got Msimelelo Fana, who is a news resources manager at TV News Archives. Gents, thank you for joining us here on Channel Africa.
Thank you, Benji.
Thank you, man,
for having us.
Fantastic. Let me start with you, Msimelelo, in terms of talking about audiovisual archives. What are they?
Okay. Benji, thank you so much for having us. Sure. So what we will be doing, Audiovisual Archives is the recordings that are kept within the SABC, dating back from the radio side from the 1930s. Wow. And from a TV news side, dating back to the start of the TV in South Africa around about, say, 1976.
Wow.
So we're preserving everything that our viewers and our listeners are actually listening to and watching. It's kept under certain conditions. We catalog the material for future use, and preserve that heritage.
Mm-hmm. And someone would ask, Tumelo, what's the point of this? I mean, if a broadcast has went out, why do we need to preserve it? Why do we need to keep it?
I'll start by answering your question by saying this. The youth, the future generation, they need all this content to go back to for research, for studying, for all these other things that involve information that was shared before. Mm-hmm. So it is a good step taken by the SABC over the years to preserve this information and to keep it, to safeguard it for people who will need it in the future. And as an institution, they've been doing a wonderful job in preserving all these formats. Dating back to the 1930s, there's wow. Those kind of materials in our backlogs that is there waiting for the future to come and collect it and find it useful for whatever that they want to use it for. And the SABC is happily doing that job, and they're doing it correctly. And me as an archivist, I'm proud to say that the future has something to look back on and find, because we are keeping it.
Nice. I love that. I mean, 1930s, mm-hmm. That's a long time. And it feels like it's a sensitive process because different archival materials need different ways of preserving it. Could you let us know a little bit behind that, Msimelelo, around how do you preserve? Yes, right now we're in a digital world, but I'm sure the Gen Zs don't know that there was a time of film where It was actually physical.
Sure. Great, Benji. What we're doing is that you would remember that we're coming from the Gen Z, like you're saying, won't know, they know file-based. So our content currently, since for a number of reasons. One, because of the obsolescence of technology, so we need to digitize the content. But previously, we would store on film, like you were saying. We changed from one form to the other. We moved from film, we went into 1 inch to Umatics, to DVC Pro, to DV Cams, from DV
now technology.
Yeah, so these are just in simple terms, sure. It's carriers where you're storing this content.
Okay.
And you have to change the carrier because of the obsolescence of the technology, but also you wanting to preserve the content to its original form, so to speak.
Okay.
So file based, which is what mostly we're doing, it allows for that quick response in terms of the requests, how we respond, one, to news and our clients, to radio stations, how we then respond quicker, but also to keep that material in its true and original form.
And what happens to the more physical forms of archives, like maybe films?
Yes. So
and,
what we're doing now, and I think the radio and Tumelo can respond as well,
Sure.
is that from a news and TV side, we are in a digitization process currently. We did the digitization in 2017. That was the first phase. So we moved from U-matic into file-based. So that was what the project was scoped on. And then this one now, the second phase, we scoped the beta cams, which was once again the carriers, it's cassettes.
Yes, okay, cassettes.
Cassettes.
Okay, sure.
That are, it's DV cam, it's DVC Pro, it's 1 inch, and DV cam. So what we're doing is that we're taking that content back into file so that we can be able to respond to the needs of the client, but also to catch up on that technology, because the readers are not there anymore. Everyone is going file based, and you know what COVID has done. It pushed everyone into the digital age.
Absolutely.
That even though you were sitting at the back foot because of how things turned out to be after COVID, then you have to migrate and get into the file-based space.
That's fascinating. Well, we'll continue speaking on this one and maybe find out from the radio element, what do you preserve there, right? And you spoke about clients. That's also something interesting, that the SABC would have clients that would want the archive of the SABC.
Yes.
I wonder for what cause there and for what reasons. We're looking forward into the theme of this year's World Day for Audiovisual Heritage. It's happening on Monday, on the 27th of October. It's an initiative by UNESCO with the theme Preserving Our Stories, Protecting Our Legacy. The SABC is also going to be doing a showcase here of some of the archival work that's happening here. Stay with us right here on Channel Africa.
Africa in Business on Channel Africa.
The United States was very vocal at the beginning of South Africa's G20 presidency, and this is largely due to strained relations with South Africa at the time, that they were not be keen on participating. Where do they stand right now?
The US is planning to take over the presidency of the G20 next year, and our understanding from them is that they intend to continue to do so, and therefore it is quite difficult then to be in a situation where you are not attending deputies' meetings or discussions during our presidency and then to take over the presidency next year. From a finance track perspective, there has been engagement. We've been working on a communique last week and this week here in Zimbabwe. What's important about that is that it's a consensus document. And so all the members in the room have to agree to the language that is used there. And our US colleagues have been part of those discussions and negotiations.
Bringing the African markets into your home. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Step into the heart of the day on the move with Palesa and Benjamin.
All right, we are back on air, and I've got wonderful guests who are joining us today. I've got friends of our station, of course. They archive things in different platforms. Tumelo Mahlaka is an English archivist. We're also joined by Msimelelo, who's a news resources manager at TV News Archives. And I'm encouraged that we're in the media space together because, you know, I remember I went to a conference that was under the administration of the Guth Institute, right? And they were speaking about the necessity of archives, right? But something that came out from that talk was the fact we don't have enough archivists. We don't have enough professionals who work in archive. And it's such an important thing. And I hope that this encourages young listeners to know that you don't just have to be a presenter to operate in the media. You don't have to be just someone who's in front of the screen to operate in the media. There's so many important things behind the scenes. Msimelelo, how important is the archive professional? I mean, it seems like more and more young people are not seeing this as an important job, and we need to take the word out there that there's so many different streams of media.
Great, Benji. You know, archives is important because, Benji, I usually make this statement that an archive is not just a storage. If we were to keep everything, then we would not be an archive. We would be then a storage. So it's important that we exercise some level of selection, policy, what is it that we archive and why we archive it. So it's important that the profession itself, that we ignite it. I think UNISA is offering a degree, and there are various institutions that are offering the qualification, so that people can be trained and understand the importance of handling these different materials, and also making sure that they follow certain guidelines in terms of how you then archive, and eventually for access, so that we can be able to exploit it. And this is key, I think, for the SABC, that yes, we're preserving under, the public mandate to educate and entertain and inform, but fundamentally we're preserving the history and the heritage of the country. But we're wanting ultimately to say there are filmmakers there within the globe, all over the country and all over the world, that are wanting to tell African stories. And this is our call. I think that the SABC has got that African content that dates back, like in the radio section, in the 1930s, and from TV, dating back to 1976. And we're making that call to say, come and license the content, because it is key that we tell African stories the African way, in our own content.
Wonderful. Tumelo, what made you to actually turn this into a career? How did you become an archivist?
The journey was a learning curve for me.
Yeah.
Before I didn't know that there's such a thing as an archivist. But now that I'm in the media space, I understand that every big institution needs at least an archive somewhere where they store this rich information. Like the SABC story needs rich broadcasting history, and it's a thing that you love as it goes with time, because in the beginning you see in different formats, dating back in the day, the acetates, the tapes, those machines, if you look at them today and you are not in this field, you wouldn't understand them. But as long as you get closer to the profession and you start using these machines, you fall in love with that time, because you understand exactly where media comes from up until today. And you get to enjoy this job of archiving these materials, because you understand that the future is going to be different, but you would have done your part along the journey. So I'm finding it amazing to be an archivist. I don't want to lie.
Fantastic. And you were speaking about clients earlier on, Msimelelo, and that's a thing that people don't understand around archiving. Archiving is not just a storage system, as you mentioned. It's also got an element of intellectual property, maintaining that intellectual property, but there's also an economic benefit to keeping an archive.
Yes. So when you're talking clients, we've got internal clients, like in this case Channel Africa, and as a matter of fact, from news we do provide a service to Channel Africa.
Sure.
So our journalists would be our clients as well, but they also filmmakers, producers who are doing films and documentaries, license content from us, and I think that's the key, is that we're sitting on a currency as the SABC, a rich one, of course, that we can be able to showcase, which is what we're doing on Monday. Sell, yes, to generate a bit of revenue. No one has what the SABC has, so we're sitting with that living memory, and untapped stories, so to
Nice.
speak. Yeah.
All right, we're about to wrap up. I want to know what you guys are going to be getting up to on Monday. What can we expect from the archive department here at the SABC? Who can come check it out? Who can become part of that experience?
Everyone is invited. We want to teach, we want to educate, we want to show the people that don't know exactly what the archive does, what exactly we are doing. So as soon as you come in, you come to work, you can just come and check us out. We will be making ourselves available. You will find us, the way in which we are going to represent our archives. There's no way you're going to miss it. So just tune in, come in. We encourage everybody to come and ask all the questions that they want to ask and come participate with us. All the games that we'll be doing there, because we want to make it fun, we want to make it entertaining a bit. So just come check us out. You'll understand exactly what we are doing when you get there. We'll inform you on everything that we want to touch on the day. And for sure, we will have a program and some activities that you could do.
So it's going to be at the SABC foyer, right?
Yes, if I can just add there,
Sure.
Benji. So this is a collaborative effort within the SABC archives. Like we've got TV news archives, we've got program archives, we've got the sound archives. So all these archives are coming together to do this collaborative work. We're showcasing the different formats. We're showcasing different stories as well that contribute to where we are as the country as well. So we'll be setting up at the foyer, at the radio section, at Radio Park, in front of the reception area, showing all these different formats, but also like Tumelo was saying, we'll be doing a bit of games, but also we're saying this is who we are, because archives is always seen, sitting in the basement or whatever the case
You guys
may be.
are
And
hardly
suddenly,
visible.
So on Monday, we're
You
doing
work
a
in dark
Tara
rooms.
moment. We're doing a Tara moment.
Fantastic. Our foyer is also available to the public. So if this is a
Absolutely.
keen interest for you, come visit the SABC. You're welcome to come in and check out the display on Monday. Thank you, guys. It's been fantastic having this chat with you guys.
Thank you so much, Benji.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciate it.
Wonderful. Hey, man, let's quickly move on right now. What's your thoughts about how we archive as an African continent? Do you think we do it well enough? Do you think we can even structure it better? I think we've got a wonderful archival system here at the SABC, but how do you think we can archive better as an African continent?